Hey, let's continue with the notes now. So this is probability notation. These are going to be how we write probability. Sample space is the set of all possible outcomes. Probability of an event E would be written as P parenthesis E. So that means you would say probability of event E. Probability of E or M. So this is a new symbol we're going to see here. It looks kind of like a U. That symbol means or. So when you see that, that means it can either be E or it can be M. Pause the video and write this all down. Probability of E and M, we're going to see a new symbol there. It looks like an upside down U. That means and. So that's how we would write probability of E and M. Okay, this is the conditional probability that we just talked about. So the probability of E given that M already occurred. For example, let's say E was that they tested positive and M was that they are 65 or older. So it's the probability of E given M, the probability of E out of M people. It's written with this line right here, and that line means given that, okay? Given that M already occurred, given that we were already in that age group. Again, pause and take notes at each part. The sum of these three circled parts means A or B. So that's like the example we just saw. To find this part, you take the total minus A or B, and it gives you this. That's exactly what we just did. And that tells you what not A and not B is. Remember that the number down here is always the total of everything. We're going to be converting any percents into decimals to put into a two-way table. We'll see more examples of that next time. A union of two sets, union means or. It's a probability of A or B happening, okay? One way to find it is you add the probability of A plus the probability of B, but then you have to subtract A and B. Let's see what that means. So if you add A, you are adding both of these together. You're adding these two together. That would be A. And then if you add B, you're adding these two together. But notice I just accidentally double added this part. So I have to subtract it. And that's where this comes from in the formula. You're subtracting the A and B. Okay, so you don't double add it. The complement of an event is the probability of an event not happening. So if we say, what's the probability it's going to rain today? Oh, it's 20% chance of rain. That means the complement of the event would be that it's an 80% chance that it will not rain today. An event and its complement, when you add those probabilities together, always equals 1 because 1 is certain. It means it's either going to rain or not rain. Those are the only possibilities, and together we have all the possible options. Okay. If we have two completely separate events that don't have to do with each other, for example, I roll a dice and I toss a coin, what's the probability that those two things would result in, let's say I roll a 2 and I toss a tail, and both those exact things have to happen when I roll the dice and toss the coin. Well, first I would find the probability that you roll a 2, that's 1 out of 6, and the probability that the coin lands on tails, and that's 1 out of 2. And then you multiply those probabilities together, and that would become 1 out of 12. So notice the probability that it happens becomes less likely because it's even more rare that both of those things happen at the exact same time. And that's all the vocab you're going to be doing today. The last thing we're going to do is practice, and so I'm going to send you back over to the iPad for that. So now for some Delta Math practice. In a class of 28 students, 7 play an instrument and 18 play a sport. So I'm going to make my two-way table. And the first thing that they talked about was instrument, and the other option is no instrument. And then there's always the total. The other was a sport or no sport. And then we have our total. Okay. I don't like that color. So it said that the class is 28 students. That's my total. Then it said 7 play an instrument. So I go to instrument and I go to the total, and that's 7. 18 play a sport. I go to sport and go to the total, and 18. There are 8 students who do not play an instrument or a sport. So 8 who don't do either. So no instrument, no sport. 8 goes here. What is the probability that a student who plays a sport also plays an instrument? All right, so I need to first fill in the other blank spaces. So I can do 28 minus 18. That's going to give me 10. I can do 28 minus 7. That gives me 21. 21 minus 8. That's going to give me 13. 18 minus 13 gives me 5, and 10 minus 8 gives me 2, and I just double check 5 plus 2. It does give me 7, so that's good. So the probability that a student who plays a sport also plays an instrument. What that means is that we're only going to look at the students who play a sport. So I'm only looking in the world of sport. So a student who plays a sport also plays an instrument means that I'm only looking at instrument out of the total here within what I just highlighted. So it would be 5 out of 18 because it's in the world of sports. Okay, let's do another one because it's a little tricky. In a math class with 29 students, a test was given the same day that an assignment was due. 22 students passed the test and 20 students who completed the assignment. So we know that we've got passing a test. And if they don't pass, then what did they do? They failed. So you can either write don't pass or you can write fail. And then there was those that completed an assignment, the assignment, and there's those that did not complete it. And our total. Great. Okay, so now we've got 29 students total, so that goes here. Then I've got a test was given. There were 22 students who passed the test. So I go to pass, and that's my total in pass. 20 students who completed the assignment. So I go to assignment, and 20 is my total there. 18 who passed the test and also completed the assignment. So that's under the pass and complete. So 18 in here. Okay, so let me start filling in all the other guys. Okay, so it's got to be 2 here because 18 plus 2 is 20. It's got to be 9 here. 29 minus 22 is 7. 7 minus 2 is 5, and 9 minus 5 is 4, and then I double check. 18 plus 4 is 22, so that's good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is answer the question. What is the probability that a student who did not complete the homework, so there's the world I'm in, did not complete the homework? So I'm only looking within here, and highlighting it really helps. Pass the test. So within there, I want to see how many passed. So it's 4 out of 9 because 4 did not complete it. 4 passed the test out of the 9 who did not complete the assignment. Have fun, good luck, and I will see you on Wednesday.